This is $24.7 million, and I'm no Mr. Beast, but that is a lot of money. And there was once a guy who won all of this money from numerous state-level lotteries, but this was all under the guise of a master fraudster in a now infamous scandal commonly known as the Hot Lotto Fraud Scandal. This is Brainspill, my name is Tank, and today we have to start with one man and one man only. This guy, Eddie Raymond Tipton. Before we jump in, if you liked the video, be sure to subscribe to never miss an upload. The Hot Lotto fraud scandal unfolded as a bizarre instance of someone who managed to game the system, taking centre stage on a level of fraud few could even comprehend at the time. The drama began on the 29th of December 2010, when the Hot Lotto jackpot, a staggering advertised jackpot of $16.5 million, was up for grabs. Little did anyone know that this jackpot would become the epicentre of a convoluted plot of absurd trickery by Tipton. As the winning numbers were drawn, the anticipation grew, but with it, nobody came forward to claim the winnings, despite the fact that there was a winner. And this went on for an unusually long period. So, either somebody had not realised they'd won and completely forgot about it, or there was something a little bit more sinister being cooked up at this very moment. More like cooking the books, am I right? Well, it raises a lot of questions, because for anyone that's just won a life-changing amount of money, why wouldn't you go claim it? Why would you just let it sit there for so long, knowing you have the winning numbers? Well, there was a very good reason for that. About a year after the initial draw happened, we have a new character enter stage left. Crawford Shaw, a New York lawyer who stepped into the spotlight, claiming to be a representative of the elusive winner. Shaw, acting on behalf of the mysterious Hexham Investments Trust, purportedly based in Belize, sought to keep the winner's identity a closely guarded secret. The intrigue deepened when Shaw, citing attorney-client privilege, steadfastly refused to reveal the identity of the supposed winner. This triggered alarm bells among lottery officials, who, bound by the rules of transparency, were wary of a potential scam going on. The Iowa Lottery did not allow an anonymous collection, so they rejected this attempted claim at $14.3 million, which, bearing in mind, had just been sat in their bank accounts this entire time. So, with suspicions in full flight, they decided to do a little bit of investigating themselves. They found where the original ticket was purchased from, went to the shop and looked at the CCTV footage, and, well, you would never have guessed it. The person that walked in and bought the ticket was Eddie Raymond Tipton, the man we were speaking about at the start of the video. So what the hell was happening here? As soon as they found this out, the police were notified and he was immediately arrested. So, what did he do wrong? Well, let me tell you more about Tipton, and then you'll realise why he might potentially be thrown in the slammer for this. Eddie Tipton was in fact the Information Security Director at the Multi-State Lottery Association. Tipton, it turned out, had devised a plan to manipulate the lottery system. He'd installed software that allowed him to predict the winning numbers on specific days, a scheme reminiscent of a caper straight out of a Hollywood heist movie. So, just to spell it out for you, he rigged the system in his position because he could, to basically choose the numbers that he wanted on a certain day. He then bought the ticket for those numbers, won the lottery, and then tried to have someone else claim the winnings for him. If that doesn't have dodgy written all over it, I don't know what does. As an employee of the Multi-State Lottery Association, it was illegal for Tipton to participate in any lottery game. Obviously, with the fraud aside, this has red flags all over it. Tipton's audacious plot was not just a run-of-the-mill fraud, it was a carefully orchestrated act that involved attempts to claim the jackpot through an anonymous proxy, and someone who could have easily taken advantage of his position to reap the rewards for himself. Proceedings were brought against Tipton for the allegations of fraud, which started on the 23rd of April 2015. When his trial began, evidence introduced by the prosecutors to support the allegations that Tipton had rigged the draw in question by using his privileged access to install a toolkit on the computer containing the Hot Lotto's random number generator was brought against him, and then attempting to claim a winning ticket with the rigged numbers anonymously. The climax of the saga came when Tipton, who was facing the music, decided to plead guilty to 2 counts of fraud in 2017. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison in order to pay restitution. As well as this, his brother, who was also part of this scheme, was also arrested as well. After this all came out, they decided to do a bit more digging, and with further investigations, they found that this wasn't the first time he'd rigged something like this before. Based on forensic examination of a random number generator that had been used in the 2007 Wisconsin lottery incident, investigators discovered that Eddie Tipton had programmed a lottery random number generator to produce special results if the lottery numbers were drawn on certain days of the year. Sounds eerily familiar. As well as that, Tipton's brother, Tommy, won $568,990 in a jackpot prize draw in the Colorado lottery on the 23rd of November 2005. Eddie Tipton, again, was the one that constructed this random number generator. You might have thought that this might have been checked every now and again, but if people didn't know about it before, then what the hell do you look for? So yes, they were convicted and they had to pay restitution. However, as of 2019, they have reportedly avoided paying most of the money back to the states of Oklahoma, Colorado, Kansas and Wisconsin, transferring several of their larger owned assets, such as property, to their mother's name, having to avoid returning the money. Cheeky little shits. As bad as this all sounds for the multi-level lottery organisation, things also got worse, because as well as uncovering this massive fraud that had been going on, the people that had to share the winnings with these scammers, basically people that had the exact same numbers on the draw which had to split the pot in half, then realised that, actually, I should have won all that money, not this other fraudster. So they sued the state lottery for money as well, for lost winnings that they should have had to begin with. The person that sued them in Iowa had reportedly received $1.5 million in settlement, which is a fairly hefty sum, not gonna lie. Normally at the end of these videos I would say something like, go back to school kids and crime doesn't pay, don't do drugs. But on this occasion it seems like, what the hell, you rig the lottery, steal a bunch of money and then don't have to pay any of it back. Seems pretty ridiculous to me, but I'm just one guy. This being called the Hot Lotto fraud was definitely a well-deserved name, but as to what happens next, if anything, your guess is as good as mine. If you guys liked that video, here's another one just like it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Fantastic.